Okay, welcome everyone. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll start the session. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so I think we've had a fair amount of discussion on what happens in the session and all for the last week. Today we'll start doing the exercises, right? So I think I've briefed you all about how the session is going to work and all. So I'll share the worksheet with you shortly. I'll present the screen to you. So we can try and look at them together. And if you have any doubts, as we discuss the questions, you can ask them and clear it up. But make sure that you keep it mostly related to the module that we're discussing. This is basically the first module that we'll be doing today. So you can bring in questions. If the questions are based on that, it would be better, right? Rather than moving away from it and going to the other modules, because or we can take them as well, but only at the end of the session. So while we are solving these, I think we'll stick with this, right? So just a moment, I'll share the screen with you and then we can start looking at it together. So we're not going to have a solution based thing or anything like you're going to have for the other uh, courses, right? So we're going to look at a few questions and see if you are able to understand them conceptually and answer them as you get them in the exam, right? So once you see the screen, just confirm with me if you can see it properly or not. Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So if you want it to be zoomed and all, I think you can do at your end also, but I think I'll maybe give it a quick zoom.
Excuse me,
This should be
ma'am.
enough. Yes.
Ma'am, I have a problem in lecture 3, week 2.
Yeah, we are not doing week two now. So if it's a doubt, then could you bring it to the doubt clearance session on Wednesday? Or you can wait back at the end of the meeting so that you can raise it, right? Right now, we'll look at this one because this is
Okay,
usually
ma'am.
a work. Uh, okay. All right. So if the screen is visible, now see, I think last doubt clearance session also a lot of people were asking if these symbols are necessary. Should you know them? Now, it's good if you know them, but it's not extremely necessary for you to know all the symbols by heart, right? So don't be bothered about that part. Don't get stressed out on the part that, what will I do if I do not understand the symbols, because we rarely use any symbol-based questions for your exams, right? Even for the graded assignments, you would have seen that there are very limited ones used. So even before we begin the session, even before that, I want to let you know about something. There are very basic notations that you'll see in terms of the sounds and their symbols. So just I'm going to type a few of them out in the chat so you can pay attention to that. There are mostly the kind of symbols that you're going to see are very easy ones. So this one, if you see a symbol like this, right, see in the chat, a single I, if that is what you see, then you should know that we are referring to the short E vowel, right? Short and long vowel. You might have heard the lecture on them. So if it is just a single I, right, small I, then what we basically are referring to is the short E sound, right? Uh, Instead, if you have two small i's, right, like this, so then this refers to a long E. So the first E would be a sound like, as you hear in the word sit, right? And the second symbol, wherein you have two small i's, that would mean seat, right? Like the second sound in the word seat, long E. Similarly, for the oo and the short oo and the long oo sound. So if it's a short oo sound, you'll see the symbol U. If it's a long oo sound, then you'll see two U's. Okay. Same for O sound. So if it's a short O sound, then you will have just one small O letter. And if it's a long O, as in say the words like daughter or fort, you'll see two O. Okay. So the only thing you need to remember as notations are these. So we're not going to use any other symbols for you. Like the other symbols that you see, especially with respect to vowels and all that, you won't see any of them in the exams, right? So these set of symbols, the E, long E, short U, long U, short O, long O, just keep them in mind. Just remember if it is doubled, then it is a long sound. And if it is just a single one, then a short sound, right? That's all. So more than this, we don't use any other symbols. We haven't been using any till now. Okay. So don't worry about that part. Okay, so now if you can see the screen now, since we are not expecting you to know the symbols as such, I will say these sounds aloud for you, right? For the first question, we are identifying the long and the short vowels, right? So I'll read out the word for you. You just let me know if they're long or short, whatever, depending on how you have understood these sounds in the lectures and how you have trained yourself, or by yourself, I mean how you have trained your ears to understand these sounds. I'll read out the words for you and just tell me what the long and short is. In the exam, it's just that the pronunciation part would be absent, so it would be on you to read the word for yourself and understand whether it's a long and short one, right? That part you will have to build up by practicing with the sounds, maybe 10 sounds each per day or 20 sounds per day. Depends on you how much you can do. Right now, I'm just going to read them out for you, right? So the first sound you have here, the first word here is cup, right? Cup. So what's the sound you hear? First, you tell me what the vowel sound is and then tell me if it is long or short. Akshay says, so what you have written from what I read, it's a long R sound. We don't have a long R sound here. What sound do you hear?
Ma'am,
Okay,
it's a
Kshitij.
short A.
It's a short sound, you're right, but the sound is not ah, right? Someone has typed it out. I hope you meant right? The sound you hear is cup, no? So k, and p, cup. Hmm? So it's a short sound, yes, short vowel sound, correct? But the sound is yes, Sachin, I think you're also right. Okay, a sound and a short sound. Okay. How about the next one? Sheet. This is easy. Sheet. So sh, e, and t. Sheet. Yeah, well, just let me know if it's you just let me know if it's long or short.
Long.
Long, right? Long. Yeah. So long sound. Sheet, right? Sheet. Next is book. Next is book. B, U, K. Book. Long or short? Short, right? The sound is U. Yeah. Sound is U, and it's a short vowel sound, right? So, will it have a longer counterpart? U sound?
Yes.
It will have. It will have. So that is another thing. So for information, in English, you're going to have five vowel sounds, which is basically the ones which will have long and short ones, right? So E sound, the E sound as you hear, the long E sound, right? In sheet, that has a shorter counterpart. So E and E, that is one set of long and short vowel in English. Another one would be U and U. The third one would be O and O, right? So these three, E, U, and O, they are known as cardinal vowels, right? Because most of the languages of the world will have these sounds. These vowel sounds particularly. There are languages, when I say most of the languages, I don't mean all, right? There are some languages which may not have them. But majority of the languages of the world will have this E, E, U, U, O, O, right? So therefore, they're known as the cardinal vowels sometimes. So these are the three sets. Then we have in English also. Additionally, you will have two more, right? Two more sets of sounds, and the first one is A, right? Fourth one, I mean. A and A. So there's a short A and then there's a long A also in English. Then what you're going to have is the A sound, right? Sorry, A sound. A and a long A, right? Like something that you would hear in a word like cup, right? The A sound. And its counterpart, which you would hear in a word like car, right? Car. Cup and car. So the A and the A sound. And then the another one that I was talking about was the sound you hear in a word like ago and the one you hear in earth, right? Cup and car. So and sound. That's the fourth set of long and short vowel in English. Then you have the fifth set, which is the ones you hear in ago and earth, right? So the sound that you hear in the word ago, it's a special kind of sound, right? It's so short, as in it's so unstressed that sometimes it's very difficult to even hear. When you listen to people, particularly the ones who speak the British variety or the American variety, when they say words like rise, go, again, you can barely hear the first sound, right? It's mostly rise, go, almost absent, right? It's so feeble that it's almost negligible. So that sound, it has a name in English, it's called schwa. But the sound that you hear in the word earth in the beginning, right? The first sound, it's a longer counterpart of this sound. Okay, so ugo and earth. This is the fifth set of long and short vowel sounds in English. So put together, if you know these five sounds itself, then you know the 10 pure vowels in English out of the total 12 we have. What are the other two? Can you tell me? 12 pure vowels, no? So 10 we already have with the long and the short counterparts. What's the remaining two? Anybody? You can just type out a word, right? If you can't tell me what the sound is, you can just give me a word which has the other two remaining sounds. We have E, E, U, U, O, O, and R, right? These are the five set of long and short vowels we discussed. Total number of vowel sounds in English would be 20, out of which 12 are pure. So all these 10 that we have discussed, they are pure vowels. There are two more. Can you give me the words which have these sounds? Sonali, not that we discussed Sonali, the long O sound. We have two more left. In packet, yes, you have the sound a, right? Yes. So packet has a sound. This is again unique to the English language. And few more other Indian languages, you may not know them, but some of the Indian languages also have them. A sound, right? As in cat or in packet or rat, right? So a sound is the 11th pure vowel sound in English. And there's one more, a very common one. Pain has a diphthong, Madhura. Time also has a diphthong. The A sound, yes, Sarko Parno, you have a question?
Ma'am, good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, I'm facing bit issues with short and identifying short and long vowels. Like I have attended the lectures and
Yeah,
I even had
I know.
made one questions wrong in my GA. So, ma'am,
Uh,
kindly just
yes,
help me out
you're not
identifying.
alone in that. And I'm sure there are many people in this group who have problem with the long and short. So see, the thing is, it will only come by practice, right? So immediately, if you try to look at these words and try to get some of the words is easier. You can listen to them and immediately understand whether it's long or short.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, particularly the ones like the sounds, like the ego and the earth distinction and all, you will have to train your ears for that. But then you just tell me one thing. When I say a word like ego and then I say earth, right? Now you say these words slowly to yourself. right? Say go and earth. Fast, right? Say it fast to yourself. Go, earth. Don't you hear a difference in the length of these two vowels? When I say go, when I say
Yes, ma'am.
earth, right? Huh. So one method that you can use to identify the long and the short vowel, I think I told this in the last class also, use the contrast method, right? So you have a set of words for each of these vowels ready with you, not the ones that you will see in the exam. Irrespective of what they ask you in the exam, you have a set of words prepared for all of these vowel sounds with you. And every time there's a question in the exam, you compare the word given in the question with the one that you have, your table, whatever word you have prepared in your table. And contrast these two sounds. Say those words quickly to yourself and see if there's a long and short difference there, right? That's the one method you can use at this point to distinguish between long and short. So this exercise you please do, all of you who are listening, if you are facing problem with long and short vowels, one method you can, again, no shortcuts. It will take some time for you people to get acquainted with this or train your ears with that. But for the time being and for the purpose of exam, what you can do is have a set of all of these words, one word at least with each of the vowel sounds that you have. And then use that word that you have learned to contrast with the word that is given in the exam. Whatever it is. If they ask you a difference for the long and short E, then use the list of words that you have, right? Take what, if they are asking you for the long one, then you use the short counterpart of that you have prepared in your table and try and contrast with each other and see. Okay, so that way you can understand what will be long and what will be short. Hmm? That's one method you can use at this point, because otherwise there is no such way to do that, because I of course cannot give you a list of all the sounds in English with short E and list of all sounds, and it's impossible, right? You cannot do that. So use this contrast method. It will help you a little bit. Do some practice before the exam. Try and see if it is working. It works. It definitely works. We have said the same thing to other people in the previous SEM also, and they have been using this. Okay, try doing that. Yeah, whatever helps you. If you want to relate it with the Hindi sounds, yes. But then be careful. Not all the sounds would be similar for Hindi and English. The phoneme system or the phonemic inventory would be different for the different languages. If there is a similarity, then you may use those sounds. But be careful when you're contrasting it with a different language, right? The sounds that you use should be present in that language. If it is there, then you can do the contrast with the words in both the language. Otherwise, do not, right? So do that at your risk. Okay, Harko Parnol, did you get the response? So try doing that, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So the last sound, I don't know if anybody has responded to it. There's been many responses. No. Ha. No. Even in pain, you have a diphthong. Pain, P-A-N-E also has a diphthong. Scale also has a diphthong. Train, plane, all of them. Bite also has a diphthong. Someone has commented elephant. Yes, it is there, but I doubt if you had meant the same vowel as the one which we wanted. So let me give you one word. Pen, a very simple word, right? So A, the sound A, that's your last pure vowel sound, right? So now 12. The 5 sets of long and short ones that we discussed, then the A sound as you hear in cat, and the sound A as you hear in pen. These are the 12 pure vowel sounds you will have in English language. Then there's additional 8 vowels. They are what? They're diphthongs, right? Diphthong, what is their quality? As you pronounce these vowels, you feel like, there's a glide from one vowel to the other, right? Some of the explanations, including the lecture that you have heard on this, you may see combination of two vowels. Okay, so if the word combination of two vowels there basically means that this particular unit of vowel sound, it may display qualities of two vowel sounds. It might look like it's moving from gliding from one vowel quality to the other vowel quality. So it's not technically 1 plus 1 combination. Here, combination word does not mean 1 plus 1. It basically means it may display qualities of two vowel sounds. May sound like, it's gliding from one to the next. Like, for example, the diphthong I, right, as you hear in the word bite. So it sounds like, or it feels like, you're moving from A to E. But remember, they are not two distinct vowel sounds. It's one unit. I is a sound by itself, a diphthong sound, right? So similarly, you will have oi, you'll have ear, right? So I, oi, ear, and then five other sets of diphthong sounds, right? So we'll check if we have some of them in the examples that we'll discuss. But then, for our information, to begin with, yeah, fear, yes, ear is the sound in that. A, as you had in many of the uh, words that you typed here, right? Pain, pain, right? That's also another diphthong sound. Air, yes. A, correct. Uh, then, so that is 8. Like, so put together, you have 20 vowel sounds, 12 pure vowels, the ones that we discussed, and then 8 diphthong sounds, right? So in diphthong sounds, let me talk to you about that because we're discussing diphthong. Look at this word that I'm typing out in the chat box. Can you tell me what would be the vowel sound here? Some of you can unmute and speak also, right? You don't have to keep typing. If it's a problem for you to speak, then you may use the chat. If you're able to speak, I would prefer a couple of you giving me the responses through your mic. Okay. Oh, a lot
O.
of. Oh, okay. Oh, too many people are. Okay, most of you say oh. Any other responses? You see the word home?
What are you asking me?
What was I asking? Do you see the word home in the chat box? I'm asking what is the vowel sound you hear in home? What vowel sound do you have? The word HOME. A lot of you have responded.
Name is O. O.
Okay. So what is it? Is it a pure vowel or is it a diphthong? The question is basically that.
Name is the diphthong.
It's a diphthong.
It's a
It's a
diphthong, right?
diphthong.
So yeah, so the sound that you're giving me O, see the O sound that you have in English language, it's not similar to the O that you have in our languages, Indian language, right? We have O, but English doesn't have the O sound. It has O and then O, the long counterpart of it. O and O. It very rarely, or I'll say mostly, it doesn't. It does not have the O sound that you hear in the Indian languages. Instead, what they have is a three-way distinction. One is the short O sound, as you hear in the word pot, right, or pot. And then the long O of that, as in the word daughter, fought, caught, coat, right? And then the third variety it has, which has a similar quality like the O sound in uh, our languages. I said similar, okay, not same. That is this diphthong sound O, right? Home. So it's not home or home, it's home, right? O is the sound. So diphthong because it moves from the sound to the oo sound. O, right? O, home. That's the sound you hear in the word home. So it's a diphthong, right? So these are the three variations of the O sound as you hear in our language. It's not the same O sound, but the three varieties of the similar O sound that you have in English are these: O, and O. Okay. Someone's hand is three people have their hand raised. Okay. Who is this one? Uh, yeah, any one of you can speak.
Ma'am,
Hello, ma'am.
ma'am, I have a
Yes.
doubt.
Go ahead.
In pronunciation of home. Ma'am, in graded assignment, the correct option of this question is there is no any long vowel.
Yeah, there's no long vowel. Correct. Because it's a
Ma'am,
diphthong,
but
no? What
it
you hear in home is a diphthong.
sorry, ma'am.
See, we just now discussed it. No, it has a diphthong, so no long vowel in home.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes. Who are the other people? Sonali
How
asked your question.
coach have a long O sound? Can you please explain this?
Sorry, no. Come again. What's your question?
How the word coach have a long O sound? Can you please explain that?
What word is it? Coach.
Yes, ma'am.
As in COACH, coach. Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Coach. I don't know if this is a question from your assignment or is it a different question?
No, ma'am, not an assignment question, just a free question.
Oh, this is a free question. Okay. Coach, does it have a
Coach
long O
has a
sound?
diphthongs.
I don't think so. Sorry?
Ma'am, coach has a diphthongs. Coach.
Ah,
Ouch.
yes, that's what. Coach doesn't have a long O sound. It has a diphthong. It's
Ouch.
similar to
Yes,
the sound
ma'am.
you hear in home.
It
Huh?
contains vowels and consonants also.
Vowels and consonants, by default, most of the words will have. We cannot have words without, at least vowel, without vowels, you can't have words, right? That would be there. The question is whether the vowel sound you hear in coach is a long O sound. It's not. It's a diphthong sound, which is the one you have in the word home. Coach and home have the same diphthong sound. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Ah, all right. And the third person, someone else also had their hands up. You still have a question?
No, ma'am. My
Okay.
doubt was
All right.
actually that is it similar to Om sound we have in Sanskrit language?
Sanskrit. No, no, no,
The
no.
sound in
That is
home.
O only. No, no, that is O
Yes,
only.
ma'am.
So that O sound is more, they are part of the Indian phonemic inventory. That sound we don't have in English. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Hmm. Okay, all right. Fine. So then we'll move ahead with what we have on screen for us. So we discussed cup and sheet and book. Pen, I think I gave you an example. So A sound, right? So what is that? Long or short? Is it a long
Ma'am,
sound or a short?
short.
Short,
It's a
right?
short.
Yes. Correct,
A
correct,
short
short.
word.
Okay. How about the next one? So, okay, this one. Curd. Curd.
It's long.
It's long. And
Long word.
did you identify the sound? The sound, the is a long sound, and this is similar to the
Earth.
sound that is hearing. Correct. Yeah. Earth. Right. So these two
Ma'am,
sounds are ah,
ma'am, which vowels contains the curd?
sorry. Which vowels contain the
Curd.
which vowels contain the word curd? No. Your question is not
Ma'am,
clear.
which vowels contain the
Sonali, your mic is getting switched off before your question is complete.
Ma'am, she is knowing which word is in curd.
Which word is in curd or which vowel sound is in
Which
curd?
vowel?
ma'am, which
Which vowel
vowel
in curd?
sound?
It's the long sound, like the one that you hear in the word earth. Somebody had mentioned it already. Earth, right? The beginning sound you hear in the word earth is same as the one that you hear in curd. The. That's also a long vowel, but a pure vowel.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Okay.
hard also falls under the same category like
Yes,
curd.
yes. Yes. Herd, bird, right? All of them have the same sound. Hmm? Okay. So that is that. Then next is daughter. Daughter. How about daughter? Long or short?
Ma'am, short.
Short. Short O.
Daughter. Daughter. Okay. So if you're saying short, then let me give you a contrast to this. Uh, dot and daughter. Dot and daughter.
Dot is long.
Ma'am, dot contains long.
That is short.
Okay, I'll say that again. Dot, daughter. Dot, daughter.
Ma'am, dot is short and toddler
Dot
is
is
long.
short and daughter is long.
Ah,
Ma'am,
Yeah, so
dot is
dot,
short. Daughter
correct,
contains long.
correct. So
The
dot
tall
is short
portion.
and daughter contains long. So in the exam also, you're expected to do the same activity to understand the long and the short vowel, right? Your question, mostly the question would be whether it's to identify whether it has a long vowel or a short vowel. So figure out a word, right? Depending on that, if the question asks you long, then you find a short word. In fact, you have one prepared beforehand to use as a contrast, right? It needn't be always, having rhyming elements like the one I used, dot and daughter. It could be any word, right? I could have contrasted it using pot also or cot also. Still, I would have got the answer. So do this activity. You do use this method to figure out the long and the short counterpart. I mean, practice it before you go for the exam. And if you're finding difficulties, then you get back, right? But do it. Practice it with at least 10 or 15 words so that you get a grip over it before you go to the exam, right? So this way, it was easy for you to understand, right? Whether daughter has a long or short vowel. Although initially you said short, after the contrast, you did realize that it has a long vowel. So use this method. Okay. Will that work? What do you think?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
use
Ma'am,
it. Right? Hmm. Sonali.
ma'am, I can identify the short and long, but I cannot able to identify the which vowels it used.
Why so? So then watch the lecture again, right? If you don't understand what vowel is used, but that is strange actually. If you can identify long and short, you should be able to know what vowels they are, right? Maybe I did not understand your question correctly, Sonali. But in case identification is still a problem for you, please rewatch, okay? And have a list of all of that prepared. Have at least one or two words prepared with each of these vowels, right? Say just those words to yourself for some time, right? Train your ears and you will be able to identify them better. But please don't try to buy heart all of it. That will, uh, I would say, never help, right? And instead, you're going to be confused with all of that. So just take it easy. Have a set of words prepared. Just read them a couple of times, right? And train yourself. Rhythm, you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. Just like the daughter,
Ah,
can we use cot?
you can use anything. There is no restriction on what you're using. Use anything, whatever is convenient for you, whatever will give you
No,
the
because
right answer. You think.
I'm a little bit confused that cot and
Hmm.
daughter, are they pronouncing the same thing that is given? That's why I just asked that whether can we use cot instead of daughter.
No, no. Cot you can't use instead of daughter because both have two different sounds, right? One has long and one has short. You can
Okay.
use cot to contrast with daughter and see whether it has a long or a short version, right? That you can do, but you cannot use to replace the sound in daughter because that one has a long vowel. It will be wrong if you say daughter. You don't say daughter, right? You say daughter.
And ma'am, what about short
Hmm.
shot?
Short what?
Can we use? Is it a long or a short vowel? Short,
Which one? Which one?
short,
No, no. Which sound are you referring to? Which vowel sound?
and oo sound. That short, short. This one.
Oo sound.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, what? Ooh is a short sound, and then I mean, see, if you just tell me ooh, then it's tough to say whether it is long or short. Only in a word, you can realize the long ooh or the short ooh, right? Without a word or without its appearance in a word, it's just a sound. Ooh or long ooh will not make much of a difference, or it won't produce any difference in the meaning. In a word only, all this long and short will make any difference, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
if it is book and pool, then you can say book has a short oo sound. Pool has a long oo sound,
Okay,
right?
ma'am. Understood it. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah,
Thank you, ma'am.
okay. Ah, okay. So then after that you have the word fruit. Fruit.
It's a
So if
long
I
sound.
say it's long, right? So for people who are still trying to understand what we were discussing, if you have a word like fruit, you immediately look at another sound, like say book. And then say fruit. Book, fruit. Book, fruit. You know, fruit has a long O sound, right? So similarly, for whatever sounds you get in the exam, that is the vowel sounds. If the question is particularly to identify whether long or short, just do a contrast activity like this so that you understand them, right? Okay, next is packet. We looked at this already. This is long or short vowel?
Long one.
Packet?
Long.
Long.
Why? So if it is long, then what is it short?
Short.
Ma'am, it is a
Ah,
diphthong.
no, it is not a diphthong, it's a pure vowel. A sound, right? Short. This is a short vowel sound, short sound, vowel sound, and it is a pure vowel. It's not a diphthong. So a, packet, cat, rat, right? Next one is easier. Car. But we say only car, not car.
Ma'am, it is long, right?
It is long. It is
Packet.
long, right? So
Ma'am, long.
cup and
No,
car.
ma'am.
Cup.
Long vowel.
Plus, yes, long one. Correct. Okay. Next is pot. So cot and caught.
Short.
Short vowel. Right. Short vowel. Next is picked. Picked.
Short.
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 Short
Short.
sound. Correct. Then the last one, the one that we discussed a while ago.
Long.
So this is the again, no, this sound is again. Again. This is a short sound, right? This is a short counterpart for the sound that you hear in the word curd, right? So they are a pair. Again, curd. Again, curd. We don't say curd, right? We say curd. But we say again, not again. So short one. All right. So all of these that you have first one is then e, then u, then a, then then o, then oo, then a, then o, e, and right? These are all the 12 pure vowels in the English language. Rest of the 8, you have diphthongs, right? So diphthongs, I think we'll have in the third activity or something. But second one again, match the words with the correct vowel sound. So you have a set of sounds here. I am going to tell you the sound and you tell me among the words that you have on the left side, right? Burn, should, cut, just, rough, cart, just, born, beach, pitch, and roof, right? I'll tell you the vowel sound. You tell me which words among the ones you have in the list in the left side have that sound, right? The first sound is
Ma'am,
a sound.
burn ka for first fourth.
No, you tell me the word. Tell me the word. That would be
Just.
easier.
Just.
Which just? Is it JEST just or JUST just?
JUST.
So JUST, right? Just. Just. First sound is a. You find that in the word just. JUST. Any other word which has the same sound?
In this
Fast.
list, ma'am?
I mean, cup.
No, we don't have cup here, no? Only the words that you have in the list here.
Ma'am,
Curd.
burn
Cart.
CURT, cut. Does it have a sound? You said
Yes, ma'am.
cut?
This contain my opinion.
No, it's long,
We don't
ma'am.
say cut. It's long. We don't say cut, no? It's cut. So only just, only from the, among the list of words you have here, sorry, not list, the words that you have in the list here, only just has a sound, okay? So JUST just. Okay, second sound here is O, the long O sound. O.
Born.
Born.
Correct. Born, right? Born has a long O sound.
And
Born.
curd
Any other
also.
sound?
Curd.
Which one?
Curd.
So only,
CURD. Curd.
no, that doesn't have a long O sound, right? It has a long vowel sound, but not long O.
roof. Ma'am, roof.
Roof has O sound. Which sound does roof have? It doesn't have o sound. No, we are talking about the long o sound.
No, ma'am, there's
Only
no
born.
other sound.
No other word, right? Only born has a long o sound. Okay. Next is A. A.
Just.
Just.
Right. Which just
Jest.
EST, right?
Jest.
EST.
Correct. JEST. That one has the A sound. Jest, right? The first just had the sound. Just, right? And the second one has an A sound. Jest, right? So these are the two sounds here. Then after that, the next sound you have is the sound.
Bird.
The long
Ma'am,
Curd.
Rough.
Hmm?
It is rough. Rough.
Burn.
Born.
Burn. No, not born. Born is done.
B-U-R-N.
We have
B-U-R-N.
the
B-U-R-N.
burn, right? So burn has the long sound. Any other?
I'm also Kurt.
Also curd, right? So two words, burn and curd, right? So for people who did not follow, I'm leaving the words in there. Burn and curd, they have, correct, it is your right. Burn and curd both have the long sound, as you hear in the word curd, right? So curd, earth, burn, curd, all of them have similar vowel sounds, long sound. Next is oo, short oo, short oo.
Roof.
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 Hmm?
R-double-O-F.
Read again. Read again. Short
Rough.
oo sound.
Roof.
Should.
Yes, correct.
I think it should be
Yeah, I see some of. Yeah. Kshitij, you're right. Satya Prakash, you're right. Shiv Kumar, you're right. Aish, you're right. The answer is should, right? Should. Should has a small o, I mean, the short oo sound. Should. Roof. Now you say should and roof to yourself and see the difference. Should, roof. Should, roof. Which one has the short one?
Ma'am, long.
Hmm.
Roof is long.
Roof is long, right? Roof has a long O sound. That's why
Yes.
I asked you to do the contrast exercise, right? This way you'll understand it better. So should has the short O sound. Now next is the long E sound. E,
Beach.
B.
Beach.
Yes, correct.
Beach.
B. B
Ma'am,
has the
beach
long
also.
E sound.
Ma'am, peach.
Ma'am, peach.
Ma'am,
I
beach
don't
and
have
peach.
peach in the list. No. Where do we have peach? We don't have here. That's
Ma'am,
peach.
below beach.
No. That is what? How do you pronounce that word? Is it peach or
Pitch.
pitch?
It's a
Right,
pitch,
pitch.
ma'am.
It's
Short.
pitch,
It's
right?
short.
So, it's short, right? So short E sound, not long E. Only beach has a long E sound in this list. Okay. Pitch is short E. Okay. Next is the O sound, short O. O, as in the word caught. Caught. Any sound?
Raw.
Rough.
Rough.
I'm not sure about it.
Rough.
No.
No,
Rough.
ma'am.
It's not rough, right? We say rough. Rough. Any word?
Ma'am,
I
none.
don't think so. Huh? Burn? No. Burn has a long.
Ma'am, none. None are there.
Bomb.
No. None. Acha, you said none. We don't have any word, right? So in the list, actually, we don't have any word which has the short O sound. It's without O, right? But we know the examples. However, in the given list, you don't have any word which has the short O sound, right? Rough also, which one does it have? Which sound does it have? Rough. Rough. All right, a sound. So the one that is similar to the one you hear in just. So just and rough have same sounds. Rough, just, same sound. Short vowel, right? Okay. Then you have the long O. I think we discussed already. It was roof. Then ah, long ah.
Ma'am, rough.
Mhm. Why you see,
Cart.
if it is A, then it can't be earned. Ah, cart, right?
CART.
Correct. CART, cart, right? That one has a long R sound. Short A we discussed, the last one. The second last one, uh, uh, we check if we have any word which has the sound, as in the words ago, rise, again, right? I think we've used all the words. I don't think we have any word which has that sound, right?
Is it burn?
No, no.
No.
Burn, no. Burn has a long sound, right? No, there are no words with that also. So short O and
Okay,
the
ma'am.
sound, they both of them don't have any words in the list. Okay. So, but what are the words that you can use? If someone asks you, then go, rise, again, or even words like sofa. Right? We say sofa, but actually the right pronunciation would be sofa. That last sound is not ah. We have, because of the influence of our languages, converted them to sofa and teacher and all that. But at the end of these words, the vowel sound that you hear is similar to the sound, right? So sofa, teacher, speaker, father. It's not father. The r sound is not actually articulated in English for most of these words. So it ends at the vowel sound and that is the schwa sound, the shorter counterpart of the vowel sound you hear in words like curd and earth and kurt and all that, right? Okay, so do you get like some idea about the vowel sounds now? Not entirely, I know it will take time, but at least a bit of understanding you will have, I think. I mean, I hope you would have had some of it, at least by now. Okay. Okay, let's move on then. We'll look at the third one. Now, uh, the words are given here. You have to tell me what are the vowel sounds here. So we're looking at the words that contain these vowel sounds. Now the reverse of that. The words are already given. Now you read those and try and tell me what are the vowel sounds you hear in this, right? You first try to do that yourself and then I'll say the word to you. I don't want to say it now in the beginning because then it's easier for you, right? Try and see if you're able to figure out what the vowel sounds are by yourself. The first word, what do you think is the vowel sound here? First, you tell me whether this one is a pure vowel, long vowel, short vowel, or a diphthong. Okay. Forget about pure vowel. Just tell me if it has a long vowel or a short vowel or a diphthong. First
I
word.
think, ma'am, it's short.
Short.
Flout.
Okay.
Is it my pronunciation correct? Flout.
So you tell that's what. I'll tell you the pronunciation at the end. So for the starters, what you need to do is just let me know if you think it has a long vowel or a short vowel or a diphthong. Just tell me that. What do you think it has? Does it have a long vowel, short vowel, or a diphthong?
It has a diphthong.
It has
I
a
hope
diphthong,
diphthong.
right? Correct. So someone was asking in the beginning, am I right? You're right. Right. So what would be the pronunciation? Flout.
I'm
Ow.
flow.
Okay.
Oh,
Flout. 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 Ow is the diphthong you have here. Right? Diphthong sound. Ow. So flout. Okay. Second one. Second word.
Awesome, ma'am.
No, just tell me long, short, or a diphthong. That's what I'm looking for mostly.
Diphthong. Okay.
Diphthong. And which one? Which sound?
ow.
Oh.
Ow,
Ow.
right?
Bow.
Yeah. So how do you read it? Correct. Bow. Bow, right? So Bough. It should also tell you why, English is a confusing, when you learn the sounds, it's little confusing because look at the spelling. First one had a OA. You pronounced it as ow. Second one has a OU. That is also pronounced as ow, right? That is why it is challenging, but we can, because we have all been learning it for a while now in school and all. Some of it might be known to us, but some of the sounds can still be a little confusing, right? And the words, not sounds. Okay, so both are ow sounds. Flout, the first one. Second one, bow. That's also ow sound or diphthong, right? Third one, SHEL.
Shell.
So
Pure
short,
vowel.
long, or diphthong?
Pure vowel.
Salt.
Short.
Short. Correct. It's a pure vowel and it's a short vowel. A. Right? Okay. Fourth one, shale.
Shell.
Long.
Long
Long.
and methong.
Long. Correct. Long, and it's not long or short. What is it? Diphthong, right? So in diphthongs you don't have long and short, right? Diphthong is a diphthong. Only for pure vowels you have the long and short distinction. Diphthong, no long and short distinction. So this one is a diphthong. Which diphthong?
A.
A.
AI.
Correct. A. Not I, A. Okay. So this much. As you hear in the words like day or table, right, etc. A sound. Okay. Then comes FLOAT. Now, diphthong, long or short? Long. Diphthong, long or short? I can give you, I mean, I'll tell you something.
Float.
And it's a diphthong.
It's a diphthong, right? Float, yeah,
Yep.
correct. So, like you hear in the word home, right? This is that diphthong. Oh, float. So, mostly, keep this in mind. If you have the OU or the OA kind of spellings in the word, most of the times the vowels would be a diphthong. Most of the times, right? So, you can keep that here. Okay. So this is also a diphthong, similar to the one that you hear in the word home. So float. Correct. Next one, DAIT. This is also diphthong, right? A, not EI, A, right? A and E. A. So this is also diphthong, date. So A is a diphthong. Shakti Prakash, not I. A and E. Okay. I is a different diphthong from A. Okay. Next one, DITE.
Diphthong.
Diphthong IE.
Not I. Bite.
AI.
I.
Hot.
Not AI. A and E. I. Right? I. So this one is also a diphthong. A, I, O. Okay. All of these, the four of them, we'll see more if they're definitely more, we'll see. Next one is caught. Short, long diphthong. Yeah, pure vowel and it's a short vowel. Yeah, correct. Next is boy. Long.
Diphthong.
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 Diphthong, right? Diphthong. Oi. Oi diphthong. O-N-E. Oi. Long, diphthong. Then is shore. Shore. I said R, but then we don't have the R sound actually. It's shore.
Diphthong.
Which diphthong? If it is a diphthong, then which diphthong? Shore.
O.
Shore. So listen to this. Pot, shore, home. Pot, shore, home.
Ma'am, long O.
This has a long O, right? Long O, shore. So, C-H-O-R-E has a long O sound, not a diphthong. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next is sheer.
Ma'am, can you pronounce it again?
Shore. C-H-O-R-E,
Okay, ma'am.
shore. Long O. Okay. C-H-E-E-R, the next one.
Long.
Diphthong.
Diphthong. Which diphthong?
E.
Ear. Right? Ear. As you also have in the word deer. Right? Deer. So R, as you see, in English, no, usually when you have the R sound at the end of the word, it's not articulated, meaning it's not pronounced. You stop at the vowel sound just before that. You don't articulate the R sound. So, cho, cheer, dear, okay, no R sound. Father, teacher, car, not car, right? Most of the time the R is not pronounced. Hmm. Okay, cat and hat, you know what sounds? Diphthong, short, long?
Diphthong, E.
Long.
Hmm. No. As
Long.
sound, right? So, no. As sound is what? It's a short pure vowel, right? As. Okay. Whist. What about whist? No, it's not a long vowel, it's a short vowel, right? As sound. One among the 12 pure vowels, we have as. So cat and hat both have the short as sound. Okay. Whist.
Long.
How about whist? Whist.
Short.
Long E.
Short.
No, no. Short E. Whist is short E.
Short.
Okay. Short E.
Whist.
Whist. Then next is west.
Diphthong.
Short.
West.
Short A sound. Short A sound.
Vowel.
Correct, correct. As you hear in the word pen, right? So west, pen, they all have short A sound. The next set of sounds, set of words. Can you tell me how and what all? What about the first word? Coat, spot,
Diphthong.
pot. First word, COAT is coat. What do you think is used here? Long vowel, short
Diphthong.
vowel, or diphthong? Diphthong, right? So it's not coat, it's coat. Like you have it in the word home and float, right? Coat. Then the second one is pot.
Short.
This is short. This is short. Then comes caught. Caught.
Long.
Long.
Long. Right? So long. Yeah. So whenever you are looking at this O and its variation, you keep these examples in mind, right? So coat, caught, caught. These are the three variations, like I've already explained. In English language, the three variation for the O sound would be this. One is the diphthong O, second is the short O, and third one is the long O. Coat, coats, and caught. Okay. Stand. What about stand? Next one.
Long one.
Short.
Stand. Short vowel.
Short.
The sound is correct. Short vowel. The sound is similar to the one you hear in cat, hat, packet. Short vowel sound. Okay. Pull. Next one. No, sorry. Next one is pool. Pull and pull. Among this, which
Long.
one is long and short?
Diphthong.
Yeah, the
Pool is
first.
long and pool is short.
Long.
Correct. Pool is long and pull is short. Correct. Send.
Short.
S-E-N-D, send. Short.
Short.
Right?
Short E.
Short.
Short vowel.
Yes. Hut. H-U-T, hut.
Short.
Short.
Short vowel. Right? Short sound. And the last one is coat.
Diphthong.
Coat.
Diphthong.
Diphthong.
Listen again.
Coat.
Coat. Coat.
Dip.
I'm not saying coat. I'm saying coat.
Long O.
Long O sound, right? Coat. Long O sound. Like as you hear, see, I think the question you had in graded assignment or maybe non-graded was morning. Remember? Morning. Not
Yes.
morning, morning, right? That also. So it's similar sound. Coat. Morning. Long O sound. Daughter. Fought. Caught. Coat. Morning. Right? All of them have long O sound. Okay. This question is not immediately related to, I mean, this is just to for you to check if the spellings can help you, but this may not be true for all the words, but you can still see, like, this OA example that I gave, FLOA also had a O diphthong sound. COAT, coat, also had a diphthong sound. So you can deduce some patterns if you want out of the spellings, but keep in mind they may not be true for all the words in English, right? Most of them may follow that pattern, but there will clearly be some words which may not have the same kind of pattern. And that's the peculiarity of the English language, because there are many words that are borrowed from other languages. The spellings and the pronunciation don't sit quite well in correspondence with each other. However, some of them, say 80-85% of them may have a pattern, but since there can be discrepancies, one must take care before we, make a conclusion about such things, right? But as an activity, you can maybe try and see if there is a pattern in the way how spellings and the sounds are arranged. Okay. Yeah. All right. Any questions here? Anything from the sound part? We have clusters, but I'll talk about it in the next class. I mean, there's nothing much to do there. It's only to show you how clusters are formed and what kind of clusters are allowed in the beginning and at the end of the words. They're not directly related to the questions you have in the exams, but it's good to look at it. But we'll do that in the next class. Any questions from what we discussed today?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Any doubts or
So, ma'am,
confusions?
all we have to do is just
I
believe in our intuitions and our hearing skills. Like, that's all. Like,
Not intuitions as much. Intuitions would be the case for native speaker. It's a controversial term. Some people would say there's nothing like a native speaker. But what I understand from that term is someone who's more trained with the language than somebody like us, right? We have learned English as a second or a third language, or for some of us it may be also a foreign language. So native speaker would simply mean somebody who has had the chance to speak or use the language as a child, say a time below 8 years or 6 years, right? So someone had exposure like that. So uh, training yourself to understand the sounds would be basically that, to try and understand how someone who's say a child, someone who is below 6 years of age would understand this sounds. So how do you do it? You are right. So you have to ear train yourself for the sound inventory of English sounds, right? To be careful about what sounds are a part of the English phonemic system and what is not. Like, for example, sounds like t. We have the sound t in our Indian languages. Most of the Indian languages have the t sound, right? The alveolar t, the dental t. Some of us also have retroflex, right? Wherein you have the curling of the tongue. These t's are, however, absent in English, right? So they don't say table, they say table. They only have the alveolar t sound.
but, ma'am,
So if you
the
have tell me.
the pronunciations and the accents are different from parts to parts. Like, so I cannot just rely on my pronunciations. So, do I need to change something from starting, like, to make these questions
So
right?
are you did not let me complete. I was saying that even if there is a difference like that, it's okay, because it's not like, see, for us, and all are different, and when you use it in a word, they can change the meanings. But one good thing is English only has one ch sound, whether that is, whether you pronounce that as an alveolar sound or a retroflex sound, and the fact that English only has a the alveolar term doesn't make a difference, because they only have that one term. No? So whether you say table or you say table, the meaning doesn't change, and it is perfectly intelligible to who's listening. So that is not a problem. Some sounds, the ones, especially the vowel sounds, it's better that you train your ears to, catch the English sounds, because they are the ones which can cause a little bit of variation in the way you speak and, pronounce and produce meanings out of it. Consonants can rarely make any difference, because, our languages have way too many sounds than what the English phonemic inventory has. So there you won't find much confusion, especially with respect to consonant sounds. Vowels, however, can produce some kind of variations, and it can, restrict your way of speaking. That particular part, if you can train your ears to understand and articulate these 20 vowel sounds that they have, I think half of the job would be done. You can still do a very good job in terms of pronunciation or even speaking English well. Consonants will not create that much of a problem. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
We have to train our ears and try to speak. I
Yes,
mean,
correct,
the correct way, correct
correct.
pronunciation.
Yes, you're right.
But one more question I wanted to ask, that when we
Mm.
search in the internet, so it so that Indian variety, American variety, and British variety. So what should we
Mm.
follow? I mean, what is more precisely clear? What should we
No,
follow?
nothing. There's nothing called a precise variety of speaking or anything. Because these languages are predominantly spoken in the UK or the New Zealand or Australia or American, geographies. Some people might want to tell you that, this is what is the right way. But say there is nothing called a right way. However, if you want to practice a certain accent of speaking, that is your individual choice. As teachers and as linguists, we never suggest you to practice British variety or American variety, or even tell you that that is right and this is wrong, right? As far as your meaning is conveyed across, when I know that you are saying table and I understand table, whether I come from America or Britain or whichever place it is, it's fine, right? So you don't have to polish yourself compulsorily. It's not a necessity. But if you wish to do that, you can do. That should be only your choice. It cannot be something that is a right or wrong thing to do. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Clear.
Yeah. So don't bother with the accent part. Only focus on the accuracy aspect, right? So as long as you're intelligible, as long as I know you are saying table and I understand it, it's fine.
Hmm. Understood.
Yeah. Okay. Sharavan and I saw your hands up. Do you have a question or? Okay. All right. Fine then. Thank you. We'll see you again
Hello,
next
ma'am.
week. Yes.
Ma'am, can I ask a question about the accent part?
Ah, yeah. Please continue.
Okay. Ma'am, I was actually reading, but it's not
Hmm.
particularly about English language. But
Hmm.
in Marathi, I've heard that there's this Konkani accent, and
Hmm.
it it is means it is very high tone. They talk in very high volume. It was the reason they have given there. It was because it is very near to shore, and because of the waves,
Mhm.
therefore their tone has means the volume of their tone has increased. So is it only the geographical part that accents appear in the people's language, or are there more aspects to it?
No. So you're confusing between multiple terms. So tone, accent, all of them are different, right? Also, Konkani is not an accent, right? It is a language by itself. So
Ma'am, the
what
Marathi
probably
accent of
They, yeah,
the
there is
Konkani.
a contact between the Konkani and Marathi language. I'm aware about it. But Konkani by itself is not an accent. What probably they meant is that there are Konkan overtones in the Marathi that a certain set of people speak. Okay. An accent, it is just a style of speaking. It has got nothing to do with geographic locations, right? It is not necessarily because of all that. Tone again is a very different thing. Probably what you're trying to say is pitch, that it is high pitched in, someone's, whatever you have heard of Konkani or the Konkani speaker speaks in a high pitched rhythm. That may be specific to a particular area. I do not know if it is because of high shores or, because of the coastal area or anything. It needn't be, right? You can have languages which are spoken with a lot of tonalities and pitch variations, even without the presence of this coastal lines or anything. Like, for example, Chinese. Chinese is spoken with a high pitch and it is a highly tonal language. They don't have coast and all that. No? So it's not directly related to that kind of thing. However, we cannot rule out that possibility. It may be one of the reasons, but not the only reason for some language being tonal or having high pitched variations in speech. Okay.
Okay,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
ma'am, I'm from Bengal, and my
Ah,
Bengali accent completely, well, automatically comes with my English one, and it mixes up to be something different. So, ma'am, how can I exclude my Bengali accent, like that sluggish, that continuous Bengali thing from my English accent?
You have to consciously try and eliminate it by using, more of English sounds and, understanding how those sounds are articulated. Right? Although, let me tell you, it is difficult to completely eliminate your mother tongue interference from the second and the third languages you might learn. But with training, intense training, you can do that. If you wish to do that, you can take up some accent training, not a difficult thing. All you have to do is you will have to train your ears for the English sounds, right? So make sure that when you're using English, you only bring in the English vowels and English consonants and not the other sounds, right? But let me tell you right at the beginning, it would be a little difficult at this point, right? Because now that your vocal tract and everything has matured for one set of sounds, it would be a little tough for you to completely eliminate its influence. But yes, to some extent, you can do that. And ear training, right? You will have to constantly listen to conversations, particularly that happen only in English, right? And more informal English than formal English. By which I mean not news, not lectures and all that. You will have to say watch movies or listen to songs or listen to conversations that are more organic and natural, so as to understand how this sound system works. That is where you catch the best of the language and the speech sounds, right? Not in the formal ones, right? Yeah, podcast also, but something that is more relaxed than informal, not something that discusses, formal aspects of uh, anything. Okay, so something that is more cultural in nature, wherein you can learn the language well. So any content which is rich in the cultural aspect of that particular speech community or language will help you improve on this accent part as well. But definitely not your BBC News or this more formal things, right? So try and listen to that kind of content, right? Like something that is more like a pop culture in their language. I think you can certainly improve on the language, right? Like in American English is very easy to learn because there's loads of series and other pop cultural stuff that they make. Similarly, whichever one you think you want to adopt, whether the British accent or American or whatever you are focusing on. With American, it's easy because the content is very huge. You can check on any of those and then constantly watch them so that your ears get trained for those sounds. So once the ear is trained, now it's easy because the brain knows then to signal how to catch these things up. Okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Okay. All right. Then we'll close for today. I think it's already
Ma'am.
time. Yeah. Hmm.
Ma'am,
Yes, go
our
ahead.
doubt class will be on Wednesday.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So we'll see you again on Wednesday, and we'll continue with these and other topics on Monday. Okay, next month. See you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. See you
Thank
again.
you so much, ma'am.
Okay. Thanks so much. People who are asking for the links, no, that would be updated in the calendar. Wherever you have accessed this link, you will be seeing a playlist uploaded. So whoever wants to see the recorded session, you can access the link from there. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.